What's going on, guys? Today I'm just going to run through my new split that I'm going to be using for my coming bulk. This bulk is going to be a long-term lean bulk, so this is going to be kind of my framework going forward for the foreseeable future. Most likely at least a year, if not longer than that, where I'm going to be kind of running this similar setup and running this lean bulk. I'm going to be running upper lower 3 times a week, basically. I'm going to be running it in a heavy, light, medium day fashion. So the first two upper lower will be heavy, the second two upper lower will be light, and the third upper lower will be medium, and then I'll have a rest day, and then we'll go back into heavy day on the next week. The first upper lower, the heavy days are going to be in the home gym. The second two are going to be in the lighter days, are going to be in the commercial gym, and then the third upper lower is going to be again in the home gym. I have it kind of set up like this as I've graduated university now, so predominantly I'm shifting more of my days to being in the home gym as I've graduated now. I'm going to be likely in the near future getting a 9-to-5 job, gonna have less free time to go to the commercial gym, so shifting more of my days to the home gym just lets me save time basically overall. In terms of the heavy, light, medium days, I'm kind of doing this in a way to sort of modulate any sort of joint and connective tissue stress. As before I started the bulk, and towards the end of my cut, I was running into some elbow problems, sort of tendonitis in the elbows, and I think it was a combination of probably too much volume on the elbows and too much close together heavy volume. So in this new split, I'm making an attempt to sort of modulate, have the light day in between the heavy and the medium day. This is going to be much higher reps, and especially for pressing, which I'll go cover more later on. But yeah, it's going to be keeping to much higher reps, keeping well away from heavier weights relatively. So I can modulate any joint stress and sort of give a kind of a joint recovery day on these two days before I go into the medium day. Again, not the heaviest weights of the week, but still more joint stress than the light day. And then I have a rest day before I have to go back again to the heavy days. So moving on to my session structure for the upper sessions, pretty much all the upper sessions are going to be roughly structured like this. Some days may have another thing first or second depending on the day, but generally these are going to be the basis, like all the bases that are covered in all of the upper sessions, even if the ordering is slightly tweaked on any of the days. So first we have a chest. Generally this sort of block, the first 12-week block of this new split and this bulk, I'm sticking to sort of more minimal in terms of exercise selection. So I'm kind of doing less exercises and more exercise per set. This also goes into what I was saying before of trying to minimize time investment, while I am likely going to be sort of more stressed than normal starting up in a new job, hopefully. So in that sense, I'm doing less exercises, less warming up involved, less setup involved on switching exercises, if I'm just doing more sets on less exercises. So first on upper sessions, we have chest compound, upper back compound, and lat compound. A lot of the sessions on stuff like this, I will also be doing sort of antagonist or sort of peripheral supersets. So generally on the upper sessions, I'm going to be sort of supersetting my chest exercise, my first exercise, with my upper back exercise, or my lat exercise. What this will look like, I'll take example my upper one session. I will have flat bench. I will do a set of flat bench, do a minute and a half rest, and then I will do a set of weighted pull-ups, minute and a half rest, back to a set of bench, and so on, and rotate like that. And throughout the program, I'm trying to pair exercises like this, again, just to save time and cut down as much time investment as I can for right now. So I'll generally have a superset of a chest and a back movement, depending on the day, as my first. Then I will likely move on to another back movement, superset with some sort of delt movement. Not always supersetted, but like I said, I am aiming to superset where I can possible. So our first 4 things there are chest, upper back movement, lat focus movement, and delt movement. And then to finish off, we'll have a tricep and a bicep movement. As I said previously, before the start of this block, I was dealing with some elbow pain and tendonitis. So for my triceps, I'm basically keeping everything, regardless of everything in terms of tricep work. I'm mainly just sticking to compounds that are tricep biased and not doing as much or very little actual isolation of the triceps. This is again in an attempt to just alleviate the load that's on the triceps and the direct tension that's on the triceps. All of these tricep compounds are things like, say, floor press, which for me is very tricep dominant. And then obviously bicep isolation movement. Again, these are going to be supersetted if possible, where I can. Moving on to how the lower sessions are structured. Generally, it's going to start off with a main compound for the day. Depending on the day, it may be a quad compound or a hamstring compound. The way I have it set up, I have one day, my heavier day, which the hamstring is the main, and that's going to open with an RDL as on that day, and then but the rest of the days, the other 2 lower days, are quads are the main focus of that session. After the main compound, it'll be the secondary, so whatever the primary was, we'll go on to movement for the other, the opposite of that. So if it was hamstring main day, then we'll move on to a quad movement. Then followed up by kind of the way I've been running this is kind of giant sets, usually, of a load of kind of smaller movements, where possible, chaining them together. So I'll have an ab movement, calf movement, neck movement, and an adductor movement. Again, kind of doing these all, I'll jump 1 to 1. They're all very sort of light movements, not taxing whatsoever. So it's very easy to do a set of abs, then do a set of calves, do a set of neck, and then do a set of adductors. And then by the time you're back to abs again, it's already been probably near 2 minutes, which is generally what I will rest for smaller movements like this. So you're kind of ready to go again, and you can get through them very quickly. After that, we'll kind of move on to another exercise for the main focus of that day. So again, if it was a hamstring focused day and I opened up with an RDL, here we'll move on to the second movement for the main focus, and might do a leg curl. Then depending on the day, not every day I have this, but we may or may not, that's why I have it in brackets, do a movement for the secondary focus as well. So I may have, say, squats on secondary for my quads, and then I may do a leg extension for, again, more volume on the secondary muscle if squats are and quads are the secondary of that session. So I've discussed how I'm doing the days in a heavy, light, medium fashion. What does that actually mean? So heavy days are predominantly going to be in the 6 to 12 rep range. This is mainly for the compounds. Some of the smaller movements, such as biceps and triceps on these days, I'm still going to do in a higher rep range, as I found more generally for me, especially stuff like arms and delts, higher reps I find suit me better. So on a lot for the main movements, I will stick to 6 to 12 and maybe some isolations or smaller movements, but the isolations and smaller movements may also be higher rep ranges, while the main compounds of the day, the chest, the back, and possibly delts, are going to be in lower rep ranges. Light days then will be 10 to 20 reps focused. This is for everything pretty much. 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 on some smaller movements as well. Again, the focus of this day is still stimulating growth, but it's making sure my joints get a recovery day, and it's very easy on the joints. So again, higher reps where suitable and possible. Finally, medium days is going to be 8 to 15. I say 8 to 15, but for compounds and sort of bigger movements, heavier, it's going to be kind of a focus in 8 to 12, and then again for smaller isolation movements such as bicep, triceps, it's going to be more 10 to 15. Something I want to add as a caveat for this is, as I was saying multiple times throughout this video, I have been dealing with some tricep, like elbow tendonitis. So in an effort to sort of alleviate that, as I'm starting this block, what I have done is, instead of sticking to this structure for everything, anything pressing or triceps, regardless of the day, is sticking at 10 to 15 minimum, and tricep isolations and tricep focus movements specifically are even higher, generally 15 to 20. And even on my light day, I've done push downs with 20 plus, 20 to 30 reps. Again, these are still stimulating muscle growth, but they're making sure there's absolute like minimal load on the joint where possible, to make sure that my elbows are fully recovered, because I'm not here to like lift the heaviest. I want to grow muscle, so as long as I'm growing muscle regardless of the rep range, and doing it without pain, that's good for me. My sort of plan was, over this first block is going to be 12 weeks. The first 4 weeks I'll stick to, as I've said, extremely high reps on everything triceps involved. The next 4 weeks I will lower the rep range a bit, assess how I feel, give my sort of elbow tendons and tricep tendons time to acclimatize to slightly higher loads, and then last 4 weeks I will move to actually this structure for pressing as well and tricep movements as well. But I'm still going to maintain doing isolations for the triceps in higher rep ranges. Again, because I don't care specifically to have like the highest 8 or 6 rep max tricep isolation movement. I'm doing it to grow my triceps. So if I can do the movement in a rep range that'll still grow muscle but won't in any way hurt my tendon recovery, connective tissue recovery, or hurt my joints in any way, then that's what I'm going to do. I have some more side goals in terms of like the compounds, of like, wanting to get a heavier bench press, but that, especially the tricep isolations and even the bench movements, they're second bench movement goals, they're secondary to my goals of growing muscle. So if my elbow tendons ever, this heavier pressing ever gets in the way of growing in my pushing musculature, then it'll be stripped back again to higher reps, and I'll keep the goal of growing muscle, and I'll just do it at higher rep ranges. Something I've also focused on in especially the upper sessions to help with the elbow problems, which I started at the start of this block, and I sort of started implementing this towards the end of my cut before I started this block, is making sure my elbows are fully warm before I move into any pressing compounds or chest compounds. What this looks like is generally I'll do band warm-ups, band pushdowns, or rope pushdowns, depending whether I'm in the home gym or in the commercial gym. And all this is going to be is I'll do 3 to 4 sets of minimal rest, kind of high reps, low weight, just get pumping blood into my elbow and my triceps to make sure that it's kind of fully warm all around there, just to again do everything I can to minimize any potential problem or pain that may happen. It only takes a couple of extra minutes to do say 4 sets of like 20 or 25 on really lightweight, squeeze fully on each rep to make sure we're getting a bit of a pump going and there's blood flowing around. Just doing this before I jump into any chest exercise. It seemed to like really alleviate when the pain was still like noticeable. Doing this before you jump into any compounds can help you actually train like pushing and pressing exercises without experiencing pain, or it reduces the pain, as opposed to if you jump straight into like flat bench or something like that and you're just warming up on flat bench. There's way less of a pump and way less of blood flowing around the joints, so they're way less flexible, and the pain will be way higher than if you do it beforehand. Just take a couple of minutes while you're before you go into your session or before you start your chest or pressing compounds. Just make sure again, the goal is muscle growth. So even if you not that I've noticed any performance drop off, but even if it did, you lost a rep here or there on a different like pushing or pressing compound, it's absolutely worth it to train pain-free and keep your elbows more healthy than hurting yourself just to get an extra rep. So just to finish, what is the main overall focus of this first block at the very least? Number 1, get elbows healthy, which I've explained. I've kind of like periodized over this block what my chest training and tricep training is going to be looking like to achieve that. Number 2, bring legs back up. Before I started my previous cut, I had a hamstring injury, so I had some issues training legs. I couldn't train legs for a period of time, and then when I couldn't train hamstrings, train hamstrings properly for a period of time, and it kind of affected my quad training as well for a smaller period of time. But so my legs kind of shrunk. I lost a bit of muscle in my legs, but I lost a hell of a lot of strength in my legs, as I wasn't able to do a majority of my the leg exercises that I was doing up to that point. So number 2 again is bring legs back up. This is kind of goes into me changing the split to upper lower. It'll give me 3 lower days a week, which will help me again focus on the lower body more than I was, where I only had majority of my splits before have always been 2 lower days a week or 2 leg days a week. And then finally, grow. Obviously I'm still trying everything else, and I'm still trying to grow everything else, so yeah, I'm just overall growth is going to be obviously the goal of any bulk, lean or not. So yeah, that's going to be obviously wrote in big letters, underlined, grow, get bigger, gain muscle. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like. If you want to keep up on any updates, I will be dropping a bit about my progress over this bulk. Please hit subscribe, and if you have any thoughts about how I've set stuff up or anything I'm doing in terms of this block specifically that I've talked about, please comment below and I'll be happy to discuss anything there with you.